Was there ever a time that Miss Smith asked you to stop looking for her child?
Yes, that actually happened after that.
Proceed, tell us what happened.
So we had another altercation where I asked her if she was going to help us look for a child. En haar words to me was, hou op soek vir my kind.
Stop searching for my child.
Julle moet ophou soek vir my kind.
You must stop searching for my child.
Julle moet ophou soek vir my kind.
You must stop searching for my child.
Die polisie moet aan haar werk doen.
Police must do their work.
What did you say?
At that point, I just said, I'm not going to stop looking
And then the doctor says, I stop to soup me.
until we have Joslin.
So those were Joslin hearted.
Proceed.
There's also, I don't know if they're going to play the video.
Yes.
We were actually trying to speak to her still about helping us with Joslin.
Who were the parties to this video?
Well, she was sitting in Spur having, I think it was hot chocolate or milkshake. And I was invited by Minister Katie McKenzie to the live.
And was to invite.
You've just heard it for yourself, unfiltered, uncut. That is not media twisting a story, that's not a headline meant to shock. That was direct testimony under oath in a court of law. The witness was very, very clear, her voice didn't even shake, the words didn't even stumble at all. And what she said, it's really it's surprising, Kelly Smith told her to stop searching for Joslin Smith. It's really surprising, because why would she tell her to stop searching for Joslin Smith? You could see that Kelly Smith didn't have that care or didn't have that desire, for Joslin Smith to be searched for. This is this testimony that has just been given out. But as you all know, the courts, the lawyers, the defense, the state, they're obviously going to debate, the interpretation and try and put it in another perspective to say, she was emotional and maybe she was saying they should stop, so that she can find some space for breathing or whatever. But from our view, like personally, the intent behind that statement is very, very critical, because every second counts when you're searching for someone in such a critical moment. And for her to tell the witness to stop searching, it really means a lot. So obviously, maybe that testimony by the witness has been said without the context. That is without, the emotional words from Kelly Smith for us to be able to judge exactly what did, Kelly Smith was trying to convey. But obviously, we don't have, that is the context of the weight of the words, what she was saying. But there is another second part to this, when others, that is the general community, the public, were distributing flyers, searching in the bushes, pleading with anybody that might have seen Joslin Smith, Kelly Smith was seen casually sitting, drinking hot chocolate. That is just amazing. that is just another thing, another part to add on top of this testimony. Like, how can you drink hot chocolate at such a moment? Because at such a moment, the hot chocolate, you should not be able to drink it. You should not be able to drink it, but Kelly Smith was able to drink it. Because I remember, I lost like my laptop at one point, and I just didn't know where it was. I couldn't even sit down and do anything else. The only thing that was on my mind at that specific moment and point, it was just my laptop, it had just consumed me completely, Now you try and turn around that situation, and make the situation to be your own child, and you tell me that I can be calm and be social in public. It's very, very difficult, So this is why Kelly Smith's behavior, is a little bit questionable, because it doesn't reflect panic, it doesn't reflect desperation, it reflects detachment, maybe even calculation, because this is Kelly Smith, we've been seeing her in court, writing down so much, yeah, that is just her. So, literally every parent that I've spoken to, they've said the same thing over and over again, that they would move heaven and earth, for their child to be found, they would not stop, they would not rest. And they certainly wouldn't tell somebody else to stop searching. For as long as there is somebody out there with energy to search, they would encourage that person to search. So this is definitely in huge contrast to Kelly Smith. But as we've just said, the defense, they're obviously going to look at this statement and argue, that the context behind the words have been removed. And Kelly Smith might not have meant to tell the witness that you should stop searching. It might have been said, in an emotional sense. So they'll be bringing the context to the words. But then there's the challenge that of the drinking of chocolate. Maybe it was hot, So these are some of the challenges with these testimonies sometimes. The context is also very important. But the problem for Kelly Smith is that if these kinds of testimonies, if they keep on mounting, like another person comes in and says Kelly Smith was not bothered. I remember there's another witness who came in with another angle and said Kelly Smith wasn't even in a rush. She wasn't even bothered, Then it becomes very, very, like, way, way too much for her, at least. Oh, so this is my review, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.